What's up, family? Welcome everybody to the show tonight. Hope all is well. I hope you guys can hear me well as well. Welcome everybody to the show. Let me try to get my TikTok thing going. You know what I'm saying? Oh no. I don't know what they did with TikTok. I don't know what's going on. I probably should have played with this earlier, y'all. I don't know. Yeah, I should have probably played with this earlier. Goodness. I'm just gonna have to make that do. I'm gonna have to make it. They be messing your whole face up with TikTok. Golly, I just want to look like. Oh no. Y'all, what's going on with TikTok? Golly. It's like not subtle. You know, the effects are not subtle. It's like, you know what I'm saying? They got these. No, I don't want that. I don't know what that is. Y'all, I'm sorry. Anyway, we're going to get to that. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the show tonight. It's your girl, Samantha Lee. Let me say hi to everybody in the chat. Chat. What's up with chat? I hope you guys can hear me. Raphael, what's up? I see Pam. Thank you, Pam. Y'all say what's up to Pam. Tribal. Lanaya. I feel like it's been a while since I seen you, Lanaya. How you doing, girl? I see Truth is in the chat. Ryan's in the chat. Memphis. Larry. Anonymous. What's up, Anonymous? Tommy Bankhead. I hope you guys can hear me. Thank you, guys. I am trying to figure out what to do about this. I don't know what they got going on with TikTok. Did they change up things? I'm just gonna have to go with this one. That's the best looking one I can find right now. Yeah, I don't know how to. Oh man, I'm gonna have to mess with it. Anyway, guys, welcome to tonight's show. There's a couple things I want to talk about before we actually get into the meat of the message, because there's a lot that's happened since the last time. I don't even know. That doesn't even look. I don't even know that. Y'all, I'm sorry. I should have messed with. Unfortunately, y'all, I don't be messing with TikTok like that. That's really the issue. I can't tell if I like it or not. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry, y'all. This is taking me out. Oh my gosh, why can't they just do something simple? It gotta be so complex. The level that they take that's the best one. I'm gonna have to go with that one. I look more like y'all. One thing I don't like about TikTok, one thing about filters, one thing that y'all must know about me with filters is I don't like not looking like me. I want to look like me in a filter. Okay. And the TikTok filters right now are making you not look like you, which is like my biggest problem here. But it's okay. This one looks like me. It's the most natural looking one I can find. So anyway, welcome to tonight's show. Today we are talking about the 3 lies you still believe and how to break free. And one of the things I really want you guys now. Yeah, Antoine, you can. Now, I don't use, obviously, I don't know if you guys are familiar with YouTube. YouTube, you don't have filters on YouTube. Okay, there's no filter on YouTube. But there's filters on other platforms. I think that's why there's people that kind of steer clear from YouTube unless they have a good lighting package or they are not they're not afraid of the no filter zone. Okay, they're not afraid of it. You know what I'm saying? There's a selective few. Like a lot of them will just stay on TikTok or stay on the Insta of Gram. And when I jump to YouTube because there's a lack of filtration on the YouTube space. Okay, so but I think that's funny. Yeah, but anyway, long story short, we in the building. We're here. And we are going to be talking about, and I'm going to try to sit kind of like this so I can be talking to y'all both. I don't want to be like I'm facing this way and I'm not facing you guys because I like having this kind of connection with y'all. So, yeah. So if you want to go on Instagram, TikTok, I'm on there as well. One of the first things I want to get into, family, tonight, because this is about something I really was looking into. I want to make sure I have my notes up, so forgive me, y'all. When I come on here, I want to make sure I have everything I need. Yeah. So I'm talking about the 3 different lies that we are told people believe. And this is important, family, because I think that a lot of people, especially in today's world, I think a lot of people are struggling with this. And this is in light of all the things that happened last week. I'm not going to get into who said what, who did what. That's not my place. And I just feel like it was a heavy week. I'm not going to lie to you. Yet last week was so heavy for me. I don't even watch the news, but because it spilled over into the YouTube space. So every content creator that I follow was covering the events of last week. And I'm an empath, y'all. When I start watching, I can't really stop until there's resolution, which is my own personal fault. That's why I don't watch Law and Order. I don't do none of that. I know my spirit is sensitive, and I will lose sleep over people I do not know. Like, this is what it is about me. It's who I am. I'm very empathic, super empathic, to the degree that I don't watch the news. If the news is playing in one room, I'm gonna go to another room. Like, I'm just not gonna do it. So anyway, I ended up seeing some of the things that happened last week, and I feel, as a Christian content creator and somebody that, I feel like I try to see things from a very balanced perspective. I really do try. I just think that some of the things I saw were disheartening, because I think that there's a bigger thing at work. God has been downloading to me that, He is sovereign over all things, whether we understand it right now or not. He is sovereign. And the enemy has been allowed. God works in seasons. And there's been a time where the enemy is allowed to run amok. And I think that if we're paying attention, we can see very clearly that there's a dark, evil force at work. And this dark, evil force at work is trying to instill fear and terror in our nation. It is causing divisiveness and discord in a way that we've seen before, but we haven't seen as much up until recently. But we are seeing it on a high levels, right? We are seeing a lot of negativity. We're seeing the enemy at work. And I think that that's why I wanted to talk about the topic I'm talking about tonight, because it's about your soul. And there's an enemy of your soul that is, and y'all, here's the thing. I know people are like, oh, Sam, you're so preachy now. I don't understand why you're so preachy. Look at the daggone news. You want to talk about 5 reasons why a woman like you when the world coming to an end? I'm sorry. That's not that important. Like, what you want me to do? Like, the reality of it is, I can't sit here and pretend like I'm not seeing what I'm seeing, right? Like, I can't sit here and pretend like I'm not seeing what I'm seeing when I turn on the news, when I'm watching these YouTube videos, when I'm seeing the algorithms, I can't unsee what I'm seeing. There's a law of exposure that says once you've been exposed, you cannot be unexposed. Now, I could talk to you about what a woman, and maybe we'll have those moments at the end of this live, because again, I'm going to promise you guys an hour. When it gets to the 60-minute mark, I'm going to jump off because I know that I've been going long, and I want these videos to be watchable as well. So me going an hour and plus may not be watchable to everybody, but I do plan on in the future, as we move into different directions, as I move, y'all know I'm moving, when I want to do more. I want to do more on both of my channels. And we're going to see how all of that goes. But anyway, I won't be doing these long lives. I'll be doing more shorter lives, just to preserve my energy, because I love y'all. But I know if I do too much, I'm going to burn myself out. Okay. So anyway, back to the matter at hand. I'm not going to talk about 5 most toxic traits about a woman, or the 5 most desirable traits in a man, when the world comes to an end. You know what I mean? Like that's not real. And one of the things that, whatever people want to say, I don't care. I pride myself on it and keeping it real. If you meet me in person, you meet in the same woman that you meet, online. You'd be like, Sam, you gonna hear me say daggone. You're gonna hear me say, you're gonna have my mannerisms. I'm gonna have an opinion. I'm gonna say little things. I'm gonna be joke. Like I'm like a homegirl. Or maybe my trainer says I'm like a homeboy in a female body. I'm just gonna tell jokes. I'm a kiki ka. I like listening to stories. So I pride myself, is my point, on being authentic. I really do, because I think too many people in this space, they try to pretend to be something that they can't maintain. At some point, the mask is going to come off. At some point, the mask, something you say, something you do, comes out into this internet space. We see it with YouTubers all the time, that goes against everything they're preaching, and they were pandering for likes and views and for money. I'm not going to do that. I'd rather have lower and build my way back up, or will build my way up. Well, really back up, but back up as long as I'm being authentic to the seasons that I'm in. I'm not going to stay in a season that God has called me out of just to keep an audience. Y'all can go if y'all want to. That's how I look at it. This is where I'm at. This is where I'm going to be planted, because God has planted me here, and I'm going to be faithful to what God has planted me to. And who comes, who doesn't. I in the beginning of this journey, I'm be honest with you, I felt a lot of pressure to be a lot of things for a lot of people. I came out in a time where, you being in your 30s, or you being divorced, or you having a child, that was people were speaking against that all the time. I remember feeling I'm just going to be transparent with y'all tonight. Can I be transparent with y'all? I'm going to be transparent with y'all. When all that stuff came out, I remember feeling like, dang, like, I was like, man, well, I don't know what's going to happen, because I felt like, what am I going to do? I got a child, I'm divorced, I have, whatever. Like, then I got degrees, and having degrees at the time was not the thing either, being educated. So it was like, you should focus on this, and you shouldn't have focused on that, and that, all the things. And I remember wanting to become. I wanted to be something that I wasn't. And I tried to be something that I wasn't. I'm be honest with you. And it wasn't from an inauthentic place. It was who I was trying to be all around. And that's not me. And whether or not that means that y'all like me, love me, want to be with me, don't want to be with me, it's fine. My people will find me. If you know, I've just gotten that. I mean, I'm telling y'all, like in the beginning, I'm like, oh man, what if they do what if they don't? Oh, I got a baby, I got a child, I have a 7-year-old, or was she about to be 7? I have a 7-year-old, and you know, I'm in my 30s, and I got advanced degrees and all the things, and you got an opinion, and you strong, and all like, you know, just it was like everything I was like, oh, red flag. You know, you look like this, you talk like this, you do this, you know, I said to myself, okay, well, forget it. My man gonna find me. That's how I started looking at it, family. I was like, okay. I stopped trying to be something that I wasn't and just own what I am. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it's worked. So for anybody on here that feels like they got to be somebody else to get somebody to like them, to get somebody to see the value in them, no, be you. Be unapologetically. Because who's attracted to that is your people. I don't want to have to go somewhere and pretend like I'm somebody that I'm not to get you to like me or get somebody else like me. I want to be me. I want to be me no matter where I'm at. And whoever I attract, I want to be able to be me with them. Because one of the most important things, and I'm going to get into the topic for tonight, but one of the most important things when you get into a relationship, family, no matter who you are, one of the most important things is to get somebody that like you, like that genuinely like you, like as a human. You know, we so focus on finding somebody that we're attracted to. That don't matter. There's going to be a time where you being fine ain't going to do it. You being fine ain't going to do it. I'm just going to be honest with you. Me being fine at some point is going to, and I'm here talking out the side of my neck. The Lord's been working on me, family. The Lord's been working on me. So I don't do that anymore. I'm redeemed from that. But I can only talk out the side of my neck so long before a man's like, I don't care how fine you are. I'm gonna need you to check that whatever you got going on. And just like my future spouse, my future husband, he gonna be fine. To me, he gonna be fine at least. And so I don't care how fine he is. I don't care how fine he is. You can only come at, listen, you can only come at your girl a little, you know, look, I am rough around the edges. I am that. I will not put my hands on nobody, but anymore. Let me not lie. I'm not going to lie on this thing. I'm not going to lie on it anymore. I've stopped. I'm from New Jersey. Okay. We all know Jersey women, you know, and I like to box. It's like my little thing on the side. I do like to put the gloves on. I like to hit the bag. Okay. That today I had a tough day and I was hitting the bag. I felt much better after that. I was like, oh, okay. I'm released. Okay. Now, well, what do you need from me? But here we go. I'm not that anymore. I don't do that anymore. I'll hit a bag before I hit a person. I'm much better. Much better. So anyway, I say all that to say, because y'all see already how I am. I even no matter how fine that man is to me, there's only so much I'm not going to disrespect him, or I'm going to do my best like not to disrespect him. And I pray he doesn't disrespect me, right? There's only so much disrespect one will take just based on the fact that you fine, right? And I say this to my men. I'm saying this to y'all, okay? There's only so much disrespect you should take from anybody just because they fine. Fine only gets you so far. Like okay. I say this to women all the time because I know that God is calling me to women and calling me to men as well, but God is calling me to ministry, period. But when I see young women and they're listening, they're holding on to my words, you being fine is only going to take you so far. We investing only in being fine, and where is that going to take you? On a date, maybe be a girlfriend for a period of time, but a quality man. I'm not talking about just a man. Family, I might be going in a different direction tonight, and I'm sorry for that. I'm gonna get back on track, but I gotta say this because this bothers me. You might get you a man, but the kind of man you desire, kind of man I desire personally. Let me just speak on me. Kind of man I desire, the kind of man that God has for me. He got to be able. I need him to have that. I need him to have that backbone. I need you to be strong too. For real. I don't need a man that's just gonna placate to me because I'm pretty. I need a man that's gonna be, saying no, nah. Okay, you pushing it. Relax, Samantha. Don't nobody call me Samantha, but I just imagine my husband when he mad at me say Samantha or something. I don't know. He could call me that because he's my man. Y'all can't. But anyway, it's besides the point. My whole point is this. Pretty only gets you so far. Pretty only gets you so far. And for my ladies out here, we're doing something new in this season. We're doing something new in this season. Okay? What we're doing is we're bringing back more than just pretty. Because you're pretty, yes, it will get you places, but it will only get you so far. And I feel like we're losing our soul for the sake of pretty, and pretty don't matter that much. It just don't. I'm here to tell you it don't. Oh yeah, okay. It just doesn't matter that much. It just don't. It just don't. What's your mind? Like, because a man of substance, a man you desire, a man of quality man is gonna want more than just pretty. If a man just want pretty, that means he ain't had bad women his whole life. I'm just gonna keep it real with you guys. I'm sorry, the lights are on and I'm here. But a man that's just into pretty women and that's all the requirement, you haven't had bad women. Because when you have had bad women, when you've had good looking women, you need more than that. Okay, I see a pretty woman every day. What else you got? Are you funny? Do you have a good personality? What's your moral like? Would you be a good mother? Can I take you to different places in different rooms and you could stand in those rooms and not make me look bad? Or do I have to watch you like a hawk to make sure you don't say something that makes our whole family lineage look bad? Okay, pretty. Pretty only take you so far. And when a man is just only with bad women, or that's all that matters, that to me is like, okay, you just don't. You ain't never had this before. I get it. Ride the rise. Get on the boat. Of course, y'all know my perspective. I think men should be sexually disciplined, but I'm just saying that's where you are mentally. You got to watch yourself. You got to really watch yourself. You got to really watch yourself. But a man has gotten women, I'm going to speak to y'all because there's some men on here that get women. There's some men on here that got look. We got lists, baby. We got lists, beloved. There's some men on here that got lists. I'm telling y'all, they got lists, and they like, can you complete a sentence? Capital letter, does it end with a period? Okay. Did you put the comma in the right place? Maybe. Are you funny? Are you interesting? If I took you to a business meeting, would I be embarrassed? If I took you to church, would I make you? Would they be like, okay, why you bring her in here? We know she haven't been in church. We know she don't frequent nobody's church. Because guys, here's the thing. You see what's happening in the world. You see what's happening in the world today. You need somebody in your life that can pray with you, that can pray over you. Just like as women, we can't just be with men just because they men. I need to be with a man that can add something to me. I don't need to be with a man just to be with a man. What do I need that for? So many women settling with men just to be with a man. Why? Why would I do that? Why would I spend my time just being with a man to be with a man? What that gonna do for me? No, I need I waited and I've done it God's way, and I'm just gonna it's gonna be a man. No. No. He's gonna be the man. Yeah, he's not gonna be a man, he's gonna be the man. Period. The man. Okay? I'm not waiting, I'm not preserving and reserving for me to just be with a man. No. No. And too many women, unfortunately, too many women are just settling with a man and not the man. What do I mean by that? God's appointed person for you. Because you can be with a good person, but they're not God's person for you. I'm looking for who God has for me. And again, too many people. There's so many people that I even on here. Well, why are you single? Why? Because I'm choosing to be. You think well, you get men. Yeah, I know. I don't want a man. That's easy. A man, just a man, just let me just get a man. That's not what I desire, family. I've already gone through a divorce. Why would I put myself in a position to just be with somebody when I desire for something to work and be something that God ordained? God ordained. I don't want just something. I want what God has for me in all areas of my life. And too many of us settle in wildernesses when there's a promised land with your name on. I'm sorry. I'm not out here looking. I'm not out here. People saying, well, you out here declining. And yeah, I'm declining because I'm waiting on God. And I'm going to continue to decline because I'm waiting on God. And because God shows me a lot of things. He done show me part of the rapture. He can show me who my husband is. I want all that God has for me. And I trust him. So anyway, I digress. We're off topic. Let's get back into it. Reason why I talked about the three lies that we still believe is because, family, I saw last week with everything that happened with the news, that a lot of people are feeling like, especially with the way the world is right now. Again, I'm not into getting into political things. I don't watch the news. I don't get into politics. It's just not my thing. But it's devastating to see somebody lose their life. I also saw the young lady that was her life was taken on a bus or a subway and just sitting there innocently. That's devastating to me. But I just see how evil, and that was just two things. There was school shootings and there was other things that happened in the world today. And I'll be honest with you, it's devastating. It's devastating. One of the things I found myself struggling with is that there was a lie that I've believed that had me a little bit more consumed with the news. And I think a lot of people can relate to this than I should have been, if I'm being very honest with you. And so there's three lies in our soul that we believe. And these things are what the enemy has contrived in order for us to stay in this loop. And so I want to talk about these things. And I want you guys to really reflect on these things, because if we don't undo the lie, we don't undo the wound. If we don't undo the wound, then we carry this weight, we carry this burden that we don't have to carry. A lot of us, we talk about our spirit, and spirit is one thing, but the soul is different than the spirit, and the soul is different than the flesh. The soul is a combination. Soul has all of our, and I'm actually going to look up a definition so you guys, because I know somebody would really define it well. So our soul is made up of our mind, our will, and emotions. It is the seat of our feelings, desires, and affections. It is the character or the substance of a person. Again, the mind, the will, and the emotions. The mind, the will, and the emotions. The mind, the will, and the emotions. That is the soul. Spirit, obviously, you guys know we all have a spirit. When our spirit leaves our body, it's out. Right? We don't have anything, nothing left. So we all, there's a spirit within us, because if you ever see our heart stop, there's nothing, there's no life in it. Our bodies are not moving. Right? We house a spirit. There's a spirit that makes me Sam, and that makes Maria Maria, and that makes Kevy Kev. That makes Kashan. That makes Demax. Again, we all house a spirit. And then there's a soul, our mind, our will, and our emotions. Now, if we don't address soul wounds, things that have happened, our mind and our will keep us in loops, ruminating on things that happen in our lives, and it does not allow us to move forward. A lot of people are not moving forward in this season. And family, let me just emphasize this. It is imperative for us to start moving forward. Because if you see what's happening in the world today, you know we only have so much time. And even if you think you have time because of your age, we just saw two people that made major news that were under the age of 35, and they are no longer alive. They lost their life. So when we think about time is relative, because if I'm 35 years old and I live to 75 years old, I have time. But if I'm 35 years old and my end date, my expiration date is 50, I don't have that much time. The problem is that we don't know the end date, and we're so afraid of that. I find that a lot of people live in this little plastic box, thinking that if I have some type of control or try to exert control, I'm going to live longer. Now, I do believe that there's wisdom, and I do believe that there's permissive will and preferred will. And there's people that do things and have done things to have taken themselves from the planet earlier than maybe what God had preferred or had intended. But I don't want anybody on this live, because we have a will and we have a choice. I don't want anyone on here to live a life that is beneath what God has intended for you. And a lot of us are. And it's because of the fear. It's because of this fear and the terror that is being put out on this news, on all these things. This is what's happening in the world. So the enemy is getting us, that has always gotten us, in fear. Fear of being hurt again. Fear of that last heartbreak. Fear, if I leave here and I do this, or if I leave this relationship, or I leave this job, or if I leave this situation, there's fear that keeps us in traps. And so today I'm trying to kick open the door to fear. I'm rebuking and binding the spirit of fear. And I'm here to tell you guys, fear doesn't have a voice here anymore. Fear doesn't live here anymore. That's what I want you to say in your house, because I think that fear is what's keeping a lot of us in broken places, and you don't have that much time. Our life here is but a vapor. And there is a purpose and there is a plan that God has for your life. And I don't want anybody on here to miss it. because of fear, because of what we're seeing on the news. Oh, I don't want to be that bold because what if that happens to me? I don't want to go there because what if no. Because what I do know is that there's a God that is sovereign and he is ultimately in control. That no life leaves this planet without him knowing or consenting and I don't understand the why. I wish I did understand the why. But what I do know is that he's ultimately in control. And if we do understand his love and we understand his sovereignty, it casts out fear. But one of the strongholds that the enemy uses is fear. What if it doesn't happen for me? What if it's the end? What if my best years are behind me? What if I don't make it to where I want to make it to? Or what if I don't meet the person? Or what if I don't have the kids? Or what if I don't have the marriage? Or what if I don't make the career accolade that I've been dying to make? What if those what ifs are what the enemy uses to keep us stuck? Or to make a decision in haste. Either way, he has control. And so we want to address these soul wounds because these lies are what cause us to make decisions. These are this is like the ground. We talk about core wounds. This is the ground. This is the soil that all these decisions are built on top of. So if I identify, which a lot of us identify, and I'm going to tell on myself on this slide because listen, y'all, one of the things I told you guys from the very beginning, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not going to lie. Because I want you guys to be honest with yourselves. So let's get into it. 3 lies people believe. And again, y'all, there's a lot of soul classes you guys can take to clean, there's workshops you can do. Soul care is very important. We tend to focus on our physical, spiritual, but a lot of us neglect our soul. And it's a very important part. It's a very important part of our being. And so again, soul care is a big thing. There's a lot of different, I think there's a workshop. I don't know. There's a book. Invest in yourself, right? Your soul's important. So the number one lie is the performance lie. Now, family, if I'm being honest with you, I've struggled with this, but I see a lot of men struggle with this lie that your value is dependent on your performance. People that are of God, people in general who live under the performance lie, live tethered not to the love of Christ, but to their own sense of personal accomplishment. Meaning, in their minds, they know they're loved by God. But when they underperform in the things that matter to them, their joy level says otherwise. I've met people that because they're not performing, because maybe they're not working, maybe they're not doing what they normally do. Maybe you can't, maybe you've fallen sick, maybe something has happened, maybe you had to relocate, maybe you had to switch jobs, maybe you're out of a job, whatever that is, that performance lie will have you feeling like less of a human being because your worth is tied to your performance. Like if you're not making that much money, you don't feel good about yourself. If you're not busy every day on phone calls, doing business, doing this and that and the third, you don't feel as good about yourself. That is a sign that because that is where your worth is tethered, that is the lie that you believe, that my worth is tied to my performance. That's a lot of us. That's not just me. It might not just be, there's a couple people on the live that identify with that, but that's a lie from the enemy to make you feel like, and the world will reinforce this because the enemy will use the world to reinforce it, that if I'm not productive, if I'm not performing, I'm worthless. That's a lie. And that lie will keep you on a hamster wheel. That lie will keep you running after things all like this. You just can't stop. Your kids want you to be present, but you just can't stop. Your family wants more time with you, but you got time, but you still can't stop. You just keep on going. You just keep on running. There's no stopping you. That's it, because internally you believe, whether you realize it or not, that your worth is tied to your performance, that people will only love you if you're producing. And that even though you may be in a season where you cannot produce like you would normally produce, you're still finding ways to produce, because that is where you identify your worth. Family, that's a lie. That's a lie. Your worth is not tied to your performance. Not in God's economy. It's not. I feel the need to say this. You're already chosen. You're already loved. That from the very beginning of time, before you said a word, before you made $1, there's a God that saw you. There's a God that knew you. And there's a God that chose you from the beginning of time. And when you believe this performance lie, it makes it very hard for you to be present, because you're always feeling the need to perform. So you may neglect the relationships you actually value. You may not pursue the relationships you actually desire, because you're so fixated on performing. But if you've been there, like I've been there, you feel productive, but it still feels a little bit empty. It's never really enough. You can have the most productive Monday in the world, but Tuesday you wake up and you want to produce again. It's never really enough, because it was never meant to fulfill you. It was never meant to sustain you. You can have a great Wednesday and wake up on Thursday. What else I got to do? Where I got to go? What do I got to do? What phone call I got to make? What do I have to, what? It's because you've been believing a lie. And if you felt like you were already worthy and you were already chosen, and that you wouldn't, if you didn't produce another dollar, you were still good enough, you would not work yourself the way that you do. That's the truth. The truth of the matter is, how you work, how you run yourself to the ground, how you find things to do when you don't have anything to do. When God has already cleared the schedule, you find in more things to do, because you just can't sit still. You got to figure something out. It's not that you're behind, and some of y'all, you're not even behind in your bills. You doing well. You all right. You still can't rest. You still finding things to do. Your worth, the lie you believe, is that your worth is tied to your productivity. And I'm here to stand in the face of that lie and reveal it as a lie. It's a lie. And as long as you believe that lie, you'll continue to run this hamster wheel race, running yourself to the ground, neglecting the relationships that matter, and ultimately feel unfulfilled. It's a soul wound. And it's not your fault. That's what you were taught. That's what we all know. But if you go to other countries, you go to the Caribbean, You go to places in Africa, you go to places in Europe. They don't work like we do in America. They do not do that. They value family. They value family time. They like what I remember going to Spain, and I've been to Cuba. I've been to different places. They don't work like that. They don't work themselves like that. They once they off, especially when I went to Cuba, literally, y'all, it's like tapas. They don't have phones like that. They ain't got Wi-Fi like that. They're completely disconnected. Again, it's a different government. That's a whole nother story. I'm not getting into that. Whole point is they were all out in the town square. Family, I haven't seen nobody out in the town square without cell phones. I haven't seen that in maybe 20 years. Without cell phones, that's probably 20 years. Somebody asked me, you went to Spain? Yes, I've been to Spain. Yes, I went to Barcelona and I went to Madrid when I was 18. So I'm gonna just have to say this. Y'all know I'm gonna just talk. So because we family. My dream, like, honeymoon place is the Capri Islands. I want to go to the Capri Islands so bad for my honeymoon. I went there for like a day with my family, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go here with a husband. I gotta go here with a man. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go. But anyway, so again, but being in that environment when you're in Cuba, back to the story, they were just so connected. They were so connected. They over here, you know, they're just like talking. I'm like, whoa, like this is nuts. Like, you don't see that in America. We be sitting at dinner with each other on our phones. They outside. Because they don't have Wi-Fi access, they don't have the technology like that we do. And their Wi-Fi, they're not connected to certain parts of social media. So it's like they are so disconnected, but they're so connected socially. It is a familial environment. And as soon as everybody was off, they outside. Y'all, it was outside in the streets. Eating food, laughing, dancing. I'm like, wow. But that's where we live in. So again, I want to expose that first lie. Second lie is the people-pleasing lie. Your value is dependent on whether certain people love or like you. People who live under the people-pleasing lie, tied to the likes, comments, and opinions of man rather than God. While they genuinely believe they've been chosen by God, their sense of worth is still tied up in the approval and the acceptance of others. While some require everyone's approval, others only need the approval of the select few. I would honestly say, family, I struggle with that one too. I'm gonna tell myself, because we're here. You know, I have God has called me to do some things now and ongoing that to people are crazy. You can't make sense of it. They've seen it. I don't think they think it's crazy anymore. I believe God has given them peace about the moves that God has called me to make. But it's scary, right? And so that really bothered me, because I wanted so badly for them to understand where I felt like God was calling me. I wanted them to understand and get it. And God was like, I get it. If they never get it, I get it, because I called you to it. And in this walk, when you're walking with God, in this walk, He will have you, you know, You sometimes got to forsake your family. Sometimes it be your own mom and dad. They don't understand. Your mama don't understand. What are you doing? No. Y'all know, y'all men that are close to y'all moms, there might be a time where you've got to step outside of what your mama thinks makes sense right now and be like, this is what God is calling me to do. I love you, mom, but this is what God has called me to do. I'm a grown man. This is where God is taking me. Right? And so again, we have to understand this. When we're tap dancing for people and family, this is what our society does. I just came out with a video the other day about cancel culture and how there's people that have real platforms and real pulpits, and they're unwilling to address certain topics that need to be addressed because they're afraid to get canceled. Family, that is out of order. If God is calling us to have a platform and to be responsible, then we need to utilize these platforms the way he has put on our spirit to do. And some of us are so afraid. Oh, what if they don't like me? Oh my gosh. Family, I'll be honest with you. Can I keep it real? The people that tried to cancel me before. And I didn't even do nothing. I didn't, it was just words and people and opinions. And I'm like, you know what? Now I'm like, okay, well, if they could cancel me for something that like there was no proof, this, that, and third, they just took somebody's word for it and ran with it. Well, then what am I worried about? I might as well get canceled for what I did say and what I did do. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, shoot, I might as well. But we don't have that kind of boldness no more. We afraid of people. We afraid of being canceled. No, if God has called you to something, I'm sorry, I'm getting hot. If God has called you to anything, you better walk in it boldly. Don't allow the fear of what somebody else may think. I don't care what your ego is saying. I don't care what your pride is saying. We've got platforms. God has given it to us. And if we're not responsible with these platforms, he can take them away. You don't have this platform for no reason. You don't have people watching you for no reason. I don't care if it's 5 people. If people don't like it, and guess what? The enemy is going to have somebody don't like it. There's going to be somebody that's going to say something about what you're doing. You already know. He's going to have your mama say something or somebody that means a lot to you. He's going to have your best friend say, bro, why are you posting that? Like, that's like, you okay, bro? Like, the enemy's going to do that. Why? Because he knows what it means to you. He knows who to have call you and text you to get you off the pulpit God is putting you on or the platform God has put you on. He already knows. So yeah, he's going to have that person say something. He's going to have that person call you. He's going to have that person try to knock you off the path that God has you on. Unfortunately, family, and fortunately, when you're walking this journey and you're trying to walk heavy, you're going to have to forsake the opinions of people. It is what it is. If you like it, cool. If you don't, okay, I'm still going to breathe. I'm still going to be all right. They can cancel me if they want to. I'm going to still be here. I'm going to still be in your face. I'm still going to say exactly what God has called me to. And you can call me. You can text me. You can turn me off if you want to. Some of y'all be writing me in the comments. You don't like what I'm saying, but you still watch me. That's okay. You still getting the message or you still seeing my face. Either way, don't matter to me. I'm going to be faithful to my God. Why? Because he sustained me. Because we think we have this control. We don't have control. Our lives are not within our control. We can walk out tomorrow, drive our car, somebody hit us. We can go in our beds tonight and not wake up. Our lives are not in our control. It's in God's control. Ultimately, it is in God's control. So I'm going to do what God has called me to do, and I'm not going to allow people to knock me off of what God has called me to do because he sustained me, because He's been faithful because he's shown up when nobody else was. He was in that room with me when I didn't know what I was going to do. When people were afraid to show up with me, my God was showing up for me. When people didn't say this, that, and the third or have a word for me, he was there. Nowadays, people, yeah, oh, I always believe, I knew, oh, yeah, okay. But I was in there by myself. My God was with me. He's been faithful. My family has loved me through things. So why would I allow a mere mortal to stop me from whatever God has called me to do or to say whatever God has called me to say? Oh, I might get canceled. So what? That's how I look at it. If God is giving you a platform, you need to be responsible. If God is giving you people to influence, you need to influence them in the way that God has called you to. Why? Because your platform may be on the line. We done seen that happen. When you're irresponsible with a platform, he'll let you go so far. But one day you will absolutely lose it in the worst way. Oh, you will lose it. You reap what you sow in this life. That's law. You might be hot for a while. But when God gets to exposing, ain't no stopping what he about to do. And I think there was a time where God wanted, not God, but I wanted a platform. God didn't let me have it at that time. I was in my 20s, early 20s, when Twitter just got hot. I had a picture that went viral, not a crazy one. It was a picture of my face, and it went viral. And it was different. It was a different world then. And it got hot in Atlanta and all the things, and I wanted a platform then. Thank God didn't give it to me then. I wouldn't have been able to steward that responsibility well. I wasn't mature enough. All I wanted was to be hot for people to see me. That was me. That was me wanting worship. Me. No. No. It's not about me. It's about you look at me so I can give it to him. I had to figure that out. I had to understand that I'm not going to trust you with more until you understand why I made you this way, why you talk like that, why you look like that, why you think like this. You're not that way for no reason. I created you specifically, intentionally, intricately, so that you can bring people to me. I'm not created to bring people. Who am I? I can't heal you. I can't save you. But I know a God that can. I know a God that's faithful. So yeah, I'm going to be bold, and I'm not going to allow my need to please people to stop me from doing everything God has called me to do. And sometimes that means disappointing the people that you love, that you want to understand you, but they just won't. And that's okay. They'll understand one day when it works. When whatever God has called you to, when it works, that's when they're like, you know what? Yeah, you should have done that. That I didn't know at the time. Yeah, you didn't know. It's okay. The enemy tried to use you to stop me, but guess what? It's crazy until it works. Then they want the blueprint. So walk heavy. Walk heavy, family. Period. Walk heavy. That's what I'm here to tell you. Walk heavy. It's a decision I've made. I'm going to walk heavy for God. Not for me. Who am I? But for him, absolutely. We can see with our own two eyes what's happening in our world today. We cannot take time for granted. It's time to walk in everything God is calling you to. And I know what I'm saying is bold. I know. I've had people say a lot of things to me. You're a little, I get it. Yeah, God's been talking to me, but I don't know. Yeah, no. I'm not the person to talk to about that. Because God has called me to walk away from everything. Not off top. It took time. But he did. He had to trust me with a little bit. I had to learn his voice. I had to know it was him. And I battle with it. I'm not going to lie. But I trust him. In Psalms 25, he will not put me to shame. He will not put me to shame. He hasn't, and he won't. But that does require you to divorce your need for the approval of people, whether it be likes, comments. Like, I knew the direction changed with my content. I knew I wasn't going to get the same likes and comments and views that I did before. Not at least not at first. I knew at some point it would happen. It's going to catch on. God's going to put fire on it. I know it is. But I knew that it was going to take a while. It was going to take a minute. I knew it. But I was like, I'm going to be obedient. So many people are like, I know where God's calling me, but what about my likes? What about my subscribers? What about my comments? What about the bills? And I'm like, I trust God. I just do. And that's not every day. It's not always like I feel, oh yeah, strong. Like, no, I had a weak day today. I had a really weak day today. I was like emotional all morning. I was crying. I thank God for just being patient with me. But it's hard. It's hard to do what I'm telling you to do. But by the end of the day, I had so much expectation and fullness and peace. It's like he took my sorrow and he turned it into joy. Just like God. It's just like God to do something like that. Michael, what's up, Michael? Miguel, what's going on, sir? How you doing? Thank you for again, thank you for everybody who supports the show. And before I get into my last point, thank you for everybody who supports the show. I appreciate everybody that hits the Cash App, sows into the show. It means a lot to me. Thank you. All right. Last lie. The lie of control. I brought this up in the last one. It's kind of like a foreshadowing. But your values dependent on whether you are in control. People who live under the lie of control often apply a lot of energy seeking to control others or the specific outcomes they care about. While they may outwardly say they want a life of faith under God or the Spirit's lordship, they have a pattern of taking charge, often at the expense of someone else's autonomy or contribution to a team. Like immature quarterbacks who make calls on the field instead of heeding the voice of their coach, leaders who live under this lie tend to micromanage others instead of following wisdom and empowering people with vision. Okay? So this is a symptom of the spirit of fear. And because of maybe trauma, because of things that have happened in your life, you feel like you need to be in control. And so you micromanage. You could be maybe insufferable with the way you micromanage things, but it's just you don't want anything out of your control. And family, that's a real thing. Where people really need, and I keep it real. When I started this faith journey, there was things God knew that would be hard for me to let go of control. And when I did, I was so, I mean, I didn't even realize how much of a control freak I was until that moment. And he showed me like, okay, yeah, like it was tough, but he was faithful. So it kind of encouraged me to continue to take these risks, jump off the diving board, because I knew he would catch me. And so, yeah, I realized over time, when you're walking in faith and you don't see the outcome, you don't see how this is going to happen. You have an understanding what God is calling you to, you have an understanding where God is leading you, but you don't see how this is going to actually happen. Your faith is tested and your need for control is tested by your ability to release that, relinquish that, and allow God to. So when I don't see the way, that's when your need for control is tested, right? So like, if God is telling you to leave the job, and you know God is telling you to leave the job, or God is telling you to leave the relationship, or God is telling you to do something in your life, God is, first of all, family, God is not going to give you a second instruction. If he's called you to address one specific issue, leaving the job, leaving the relationship, leaving your hometown, moving. If there is something God told you to stop smoking, God told you to stop drinking, God told you to stop listening to this kind of music, God told you to stop doing this. If you are not obedient in that, God is not going to give you another instruction. Your instruction will be what he addressed. Everything else, he gives one step at a time. God's not giving you do this, do that, do this, do that. He's going to give you this, then that, then this, then that. You're obedient with this, and he gives you that. When you're obedient with that, he gives you this. Like, that is how God works. Okay? He doesn't just, that's just not how he moves. There might be words you give to people in the in-between. There might be little things but he is calling, when he's calling you to obedience and you're not being obedient, you don't hear God the way you need to hear God. God's called you to do something, you haven't done it, and you haven't made haste to do it, you can rest assured that a lot of what you're hearing is you. You can rest assured that a lot of what you're hearing is you. That's why you might be all over the place. One day you want to do this. One day you want to do that. One day you want to do this. That's because you're not hearing God. God don't change his mind. God's the same. If you're not obedient in one thing, he ain't going to give you another thing. Are we clear? So when it came down to control, I realized that when God tells you to let go of the job, it's not, I let go of the job when I get a new job. He's asking you to let go of the job in faith without a new job. I just had a conversation with a lady. She's like, I'm walking in faith. I'm like, okay, cool. So what you doing? Like, what area is it? And she said that God had called her to move. And then she said, I've been looking for a job and she hadn't been able to get a job. And I said, well, do you know, I was like, I want you to be open. I've been saying this to her for Sunday after Sunday. God is leading me to tell you, God may not have led you here for a job. Right? And so she says to me, you know, we end up spending some time together, and I kept saying, I don't know why I felt prompted to say that, but then the conversation comes in and makes sense why. She said, well, you know, I had this thing, I went to the service, it was prophesied over me that God want me to go to school. I was like, oh, okay. Did you know that? She's like, yeah, it was confirmation. God had already told me that. And I started looking into it, but I was trying to get the job. And then I was like, see, look, That's the problem. God told you to go to school. God didn't tell you to go to school and get a job. Well, I mean, how am I supposed to do this and how am I supposed to do that? That's not faith. Faith is the evidence of things unseen. The confidence of things hoped for, the evidence of things unseen. That shows me that you still got your hands in the pot. Yes, I know that's worldly wisdom. I don't leave a job unless I have another job. I don't leave the relationship unless I have another relationship set up. Unless I have a plan in mind. Like that is worldly wisdom. That is not godly wisdom. And God's economy, that is where you realize I'm relinquishing control. I'm letting it go. I'm really walking in faith. You don't got another option. You're trusting God even when you don't have an option. That is real faith. It is evidence of things unseen. And so many of us have an issue with control, and it's an oh wait, so you're gonna leave your hometown, and do you have a plan? Like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna go here? Are you gonna go there? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, Sam? What are you gonna do? That's not faith. God told Abraham, go to a land I will show you. He had no plan. He had no roadmap. And when he hit the road, God started to bless him. When he hit the road and hit that pavement and said, okay, God, I got you. Say less. I'm on my way. Packed up everything. Y'all, they thought he was a prince. They kingdoms recognized Abraham, a mere mortal. And they were like, the God you serve, don't play. We're not playing with Abraham. People that would have wanted to, because he was wealthy, because again, God blessed him abundantly because of his obedience. But people were like, oh, no, Abraham different. Like the way his God don't play about him. We need to be friends with Abraham. We need to be friends with him. We need to send him fruit baskets, women, cattle. We need to send him everything because Abraham has the sauce. I don't know what God he served. I don't know who he prayed to, but we need to be good with him because his God don't play about him. His God don't play about him. And so again, that was Abraham wouldn't have been Abraham if Abraham didn't leave his land. Abraham would not have been Abraham if Abraham didn't leave his land. And he didn't know where he was going. It was to a land he will show you. We think God's going to give us the whole roadmap. No, God only gives us the first step, but it shows us how much we need answers. Us needing answers is an indication we need control. If there's anything you're unwilling to leave because you don't see the plan or you don't see the course, that's your indication you have a control issue. You need control. And you would rather have control than follow God. And that's an idol. It's a lie. That if I'm in control, I'm safe. And that's actually not true. Because you can be in full control and not be safe. Safety is an illusion. Control is an illusion. An expensive one. We probably spend millions of dollars a year on control and safety. But if the heart attack comes, there's nothing you can do about it. We don't have control. We can't control what happens in the world today. We can't control when the ending of this world happens. We don't have control. It's an expensive illusion. So that is the third one, Anonymous. The lie of control. Your value is dependent on whether you are in control. that people expend a lot of emotions, a lot of money, a lot of time. I mean, family, let's be real. If you look at our dating world, the reason why it's so messed up is because everybody got to be in control. Everybody got to be in power. Everybody don't want their ego out there. Everybody don't want to pursue. Nobody want to put them. That's control. I'm controlling access because I don't want to get hurt. So I'm not being vulnerable. So I'm not putting myself out there. So I see this woman or this man that I desire, and I'm not willing to really give them a whole lot because of what I've experienced in my past. That is control. I don't want to hit her up. No, I'm not gonna hit her up first. What if she says something crazy? Like, I don't know. I mean, what if she says like she don't like me or something, like, or what if, I know I haven't been at, like, in the past, like I've been like this, and then like you get in your head and then you don't do anything. And now you just in your head. I mean, I could hit her up and I could just say like blah blah blah. Nah, because then she gonna think I'm whack. And then I'm like, well, I could say blah 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 blah. I could just say that, and then like, yes, you try to control it. You want to be in control. We all want to be in control. Well, I'm not gonna text back. I'm like not text back, and then make her text me because then I'm in control. I'm not gonna really put full throttle on her. Like, I really want her, but man, like, I don't, like, I ain't about to press nobody. Like, this is not me, bro. It's not me. I mean, she bad. I like her, whatever, but that's you being in control. I'm not going to really pursue somebody I really desire because I'm afraid. I'm scared. Let's call it what it is. Our world is run by fear and control. Our need for control and our fear. The fear drives our need for control. And you could be missing out on the relationship of your dreams, the woman of your dreams, the mother of your next 3 children, because you out here just playing games. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. First of all, no, act like they know me. Coming from someone who don't ever text first. I do text first. Let's be clear. I have in my life texted first. We're not doing that today. Again, God is working on me. I will absolutely text somebody first. Okay, don't do that. When God bring the man, and God telling me he my man. Oh, I'm texting him first. He's my man. If God says he's my man, I'm texting him first. I'll be okay with texting him first because he already knows what time it is with me. I just pray that he knows that I'm his woman as much as I know he's my man. That's what I really do. You know what I'm saying? Will I text back? Oh, for my husband? For the man that God has for me? Text back? I'm gonna call him. Where he at though? Will I text them back? I'll do more than text them back. I'm gonna show up. Get a mixed girl from New Jersey gonna pull up on him. You know what I'm saying? He needs to understand I'm here, baby. I'm here. No, I'm just kidding. I'm playing with y'all. My type. That's funny. I say all that to say I'm playing around, y'all. But again, our need for control, fear drives our need for control. So a lot of us with people pleasing, like I said, there's 3 things I brought up today. Hide insecurity. So sorry, somebody asked me this question. I think it's a great one. So you saying people hide insecurity under control? Yes. That is what I'm saying. Yeah. They had insecurity and fear under control. I don't want to, if I'm out of control, what happens now? So what happens next? So what do we do now? So where do we go? So what do we do next? Blah, blah, blah. No. That's your need for control. You ever meet somebody, they need all the answers? What's the plan? So we're going to go here. And then what we're going to do? Are we going to go like there right after? Are we going to go right there like 30 minutes later? Okay, so when we do that, do we, from there, do we go, is it 30 minutes later we meet there? Okay, so then we go there. And then what do we do then? Oh, okay. So are you going to call me? So when you call me, are you going to call me like tonight? Or are you going to call me next day? Like, because I need to just know, are you going to be, oh, okay. Okay. So so the plan is so the plan is you're going to like that. The people with the plan is, and what are we going to do? Where we're going to go and who going to call me and where we're going to be tomorrow and where you going to be next week? Are you going to call me again? All of us want, like, if you look at our dating world, I'm telling you, it's control. I be seeing women on dates. So what's your intentions with me? I don't know you, sis. That man don't know you. He literally met you 45 minutes ago. I would say, instead of asking him what his intentions are with you, I would ask him what his intentions are, period. What you want, period. Because he may not know what he wants with you. But that's our need for control. I think it's good for us to understand intentions, but we're so worried about these other parts. And we're so busy trying to get in front of like like we're so afraid of getting in front of. So what you want with me? You trying to sleep with me tonight? Was that what you're here for? Are you here to just sleep with me? Just tell me that now. Like, how was your last relationship? What did it end like? Why do you think that? Why is that important? Why is that? Think about it. Why is that important? So what was your ex-girlfriend like? Okay, so you can go stalk her and see how you measure up against her. What is that? What is that, beloved? That's a need for control. Am I better than your last one? I have men that will ask me about my past and this, that, and third. That's fine. I'll answer the question. But again, family, we have to recognize my point. I'm poking fun, but a lot of what we see today in the world, when it comes to relationships and I mean how we do everything, is because of our need for control. And that's driven by fear. Whether you've been heartbroken before, and I understand that, trauma, all the things, I can understand all of that. But that's a lie. Because even if you know everything, you still cannot protect yourself from the inevitable. Life is gonna life. Period. You can have all the fixings, everything in order. You could do whatever. You can try to do whatever. Life is still going to life. Life will still teach you. And we call it life, but it's God teaching you that no matter how much you're in control, you're not in control. You can try to control everything you want to control. But life has a way of showing us we're not in control at all. So family, that is the 3. And I lied. I said an hour and I didn't do an hour. I did an hour and 25. I'm sorry, you guys. I get so excited on here. I get hype and then like I can't come down. I have to see it all the way through. I have to see it all the way through. So anyway, family, like I said, I will be coming to you live again next week. Some of you guys are asking about my move. I will be updating you guys more on the move. I'm right now in a transition. Okay, I'm in transitional place right now. I'm not where I'm going to be in, gosh, like a month or so. It's like a month, a little over a month. I'm not on the West Coast yet, but I'm not where I was. So I'm in this transitional place with family, and yeah, it's like 5 or 6 weeks. I think it might be 5 to 7 weeks away. I can't think of exactly. But yeah. So I will be updating you guys on the move. I'll be letting you guys know what it is. I'll be on my little thing saying Sam's. I'll just update you guys. This is the Abraham move. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about what God is about to do in and through everything He's having me do. So, but you'll see that it has not happened yet. It'll be praying for me. If you pray to Jesus, pray for me. If you don't pray to Jesus, don't pray for me. Pray if you pray to Jesus, pray for me. As I go through this time, it's been hard for me emotionally. It's a lot. But I really trust God, and so I really do want you guys, if you can pray for me, it's really appreciated. But I will be heading out there and doing whatever God calls me to do. So anyway, love y'all. I will be going live still. Again, this doesn't stop. I'll probably be doing it more as we go out there. I'll be focusing more of my energy on the channel. No, I'm not gonna set up. No. I'll be focusing more of my energy on the channel, and really, seeing where God leads me with it, honestly. So, all right, family. I gotta let y'all go. I love y'all. I love y'all. So, anyway, I will see you guys soon. Have a great evening. Good night. I'll be this way. Bye-bye.